Okay, folks, so we had a major crash there, but luckily it kind of crashed in a good spot because we just finished kind of the last explanation topic. What you may have noticed here is that I've deleted the roofing level. The roof that we had generated in the previous exercise is gone, right? And so we're starting right now. We're starting fresh with our roof. So I'm going to show you how to generate a new roofing level, and I'm going to show you how to create several different types of roofs, and I'm going to show you how to create new roofing types and assign a roofing type to your roof. And then I'm going to show you how to adjust the view range so that everything makes sense. Okay. Your midterm is going to be assigned, if I don't get it posted tonight, it will be up tomorrow for you to review. But part of your midterm will be to add a single slope roof to your imbue cabin, okay? And just a little sneak peek, I'm going to have you for your midterm add a garage to this project, all right? So plan on doing a couple of those things. And I'm also going to have you make a couple of changes to the project, all right? So, of course, I've kind of let the cat out of the bag with we're adding a basement, but you'll also be adding some stairs. You'll be making the outline of the house just slightly different. All right, so let's talk about creating a roof, all right? So, and I left all of these different levels here because I think these are going to be pretty common levels that you'll be creating when you just generate your general project levels. So the basement level, top of footing, which we'll get to footing soon. Main level, bottom of structure, level 2. Likely there will be a bottom of structure level 2, of course. And then top of wall here, right? So we have our main level, we have our upper level, we have a basement here. But what we really want to do right now is we want to create a roof, okay? So I'm going to go to architecture, or I could have typed LL and create a new level. So I'm going to give it, I don't know how tall the roof's going to be yet. It depends on, the pitch and all that good stuff. But I'm just going to put a roof out there, or a roofing level, let's say 20 feet above top of wall. Now it comes in and it's called level 8. I don't want it to be called level 8. So I'm actually going to click on that and we are going to call it roof. Oop, not riff, roof. There we go. Do I want my views to correspond? Yes, I do. All right, so now I have a roofing level and everything looks really good. It's time for me to actually generate my roof, okay? Now, as we talked before, our roof is actually going to sit at the top of wall level. And when I create my roof plan, I'm going to view it from the roof level, all right? And I'm going to define my view range so that I view my roof from here to here, all right? Excuse me. So I'm now going to go to top of wall, click, click, and I can't see anything, so I need to turn on my underlay so I can see my walls below, and I need to do that because it will allow me to better draw my roof, okay? So I'm going to, this very tricky little guy moved my menus back after I had to reboot. There we go. Whoop, getting some weird visual things happening. There we go. All right. All right, so I come over here, I hit escape and I clear out of everything, and on my floor plan, I go down to underlay, and I want to be able to see from my top of wall, I want to be able to see my level 2. Apply, and now I get a really ghosted view of my level 2. All right, so we're going to create a roof, and the first roof that we generate is going to be a a hip roof, okay? And a hip roof is going to be where all of the slopes of all of the sides are equal. So it slopes up to almost kind of a pyramid type looking roof, okay? So I'm going to click on roof by footprint, and now I'm bumped into sketch mode, all right? So the first thing that I need to do is I need to generate the outline of my roof, okay? And this this building is very square, so right now my roof is going to be very square, okay? If it had been oblong, I would have traced it oblong. We may even go back and do that just for fun, all right? So I'm going to use any type of tool here that is helpful in me drawing my roof. So I think for now, I'm just going to use my square tool here, my rectangle tool, because it would make it very easy for me to draw. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my roof, okay, an outline of my roof. Ooh, excuse me, guys. All right, so if I just draw my roof, like I am about to do, I click on my first point, I click on my second point, what I get is a roof without an overhang, okay? So if I were to hit finish on this roof, the roof would go to the very edge of my building and stop. It's kind of a weird little roof, right? Most roofs have overhangs, so I don't really want that, so I'm gonna hit delete. In fact, I'm gonna select all these and I'm gonna hit delete and redraw this. So I'm gonna click on my rectangle tool again, and instead of just drawing an exact outline of my roof, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna choose an offset, okay? And I'm gonna make this offset 5 foot, enter, okay? And now when I create my roof, you see that I have a 5 foot overhang around the entire roof. Click, click, looks pretty good. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see that offset option until you actually initiate your drawing command. So if I click on the pick tool, I get an offset. If I click on my rectangle tool here, I get an offset. Okay, but just know that it's there, it just won't be shown until you actually choose the drawing tool to draw your roof. All right, so I've just drawn the outline of my roof. All right, we're seeing these little slope symbols, which is great. And when I see a slope symbol like this next to one of my sketched roof lines, that means that that line defines slope. All right, so in this case, because each of these lines has a little slope symbol next to it, that means that every single one of these lines defines slope. All right, and we're going to create a different type of roof in a minute, and I'm going to show you what it means to have an edge of your roof that doesn't define slope, okay? Now, because all of these have a defined slope line, you're going to notice over here in your properties dialog box that we have a 9/12 slope defined. So that means that there's a run of 12 inches and then we rise 9 inches. So that's a pretty steep roof. I'm going to change this to a 3/12, and to change it to 3/12, all I do is type 3 and hit enter, and it changes to a 3/12. Or I could click here and I could type 2/12, enter, okay? And by doing that, all of those different slope lines, if I select one, you'll see that I get a 2/12 slope. You'll also notice that I get a little slope indicator here. So I could click there and I could change the slope there also if I wanted. Okay. If I wanted to undefine the slope of a line, I would select it and I would uncheck define slope. All right. So that means that that line would not define slope. So it wouldn't slope up, and meet somewhere in the middle. Okay. So I do want that to be defined with slope. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hit define slope. Okay. So all of my lines are now defined with slope. I have an overhang defined. To finish this very simple hip roof, I'm going to hit finish. Okay, so my little roof has been generated. Now if I click on my roof, right, we see over here under the properties dialog box or drop down that I have a basic roof, generic 12-inch slope roof defined. With my roof selected, I can drop down and I could choose like generic 9-inch, and you'll see that it changes. Okay, I could choose wood rafter 8 inches and it changes. All right, so everything is doing what it should. All of this is kind of old news to you, right? Changing roof types, changing ceiling types, changing floor types, changing wall types. Now, if I wanted to create a new roofing type, I would select my roof, I would hit edit type, I would hit duplicate, right? All this is seeming very, very familiar. So maybe instead of, we'll do rafter, we'll do 10-inch, and maybe we'll do something like metal roof. Okay, so I've just duplicated that roofing type. Uh-oh, I think we have our project not responding again. Okay, well, we recovered from that one, so that's good. I should probably save a little bit more often now that my computer's sort of having a hard time. So I have duplicated it. I've given it a new name. You all know that that creates a new roof type. I'm going to click on edit, and I could edit the structure to be what I wanted it to be. So the joist could be 10 inches, right? And I'm going to make it very literally 10 inches. Plywood sheathing. There we go. Asphalt sheet. Instead of asphalt shingles, I'm going to change this to metal. There we go. And we'll make it stainless steel, very fancy. I want to add a pattern to this. No, actually I just want it to be metal. So we don't have just a regular old metal material. So this is maybe something new we haven't done before. I'm going to click down here and choose create new material. And I'm going to click on that material, right click and hit rename. Metal roofing, hit enter. And it's simple as that. I just created a new material, right? There was no physical definition. I just took a new blank generic metal or blank material, and I gave it a new name. And that's all there is to creating a new material. I'm going to give it a surface pattern. And I want it to be horizontal lines. I'm going to hit OK. OK. We'll make that roof 2 inches thick. Hit OK. OK. And now I have my new metal roof, right? So I definitely see that little pattern happening. It's, you know, not exactly what a metal roof looks like, but it doesn't matter right now. We're just kind of experimenting. Okay. So that should be kind of old news to you. You know how to create wall types, brand new wall types. You know how to create floor types, ceiling types, and now you know how to create a roof type, which is very similar to all the rest, right? So I'm going to pick the roof type that is most closely related to the one I want to generate. I'm going to duplicate it, rename it, redefine it, and then use it in my project, okay? Now for your assignment, all of your roofing assemblies are very well defined, so you just copy those and everything should be pretty good. All right, so I have my roof generated and I'm not able to view it exactly as I wanted to right now. It's cut off again, of course. So I'm going to go to my north elevation, WT, window tile, and I'm going to look at both of these at the same time and notice that I do have my roof here. My roof level is very high above it. Right now I'm on top of wall level, right? So I'm at top of wall level. And what that means is I'm able to see about 4 feet above there and it's cut off, right? So of course we're going to change our view range so that we can see these things a little bit easier. And I'm going to move this roofing level down so that it's actually very close to the roof, right? Okay, pretty darn close. And we see that that's 26'3". Sorry guys, I'm sniffling. It's 28'3". And so that looks pretty good, but now I just need to adjust my view range so that I can see things. All right, so I'm going to close out my top of wall. I'm going to save my project here very quickly in case we crash again. We may have 3 or 4 videos depending on how today goes. And I'm going to open up my roof plan here. Okay, WT, window tile, and I'm going to look at these things next to each other. Now, of course, the reason why my roof plan is blank is because I am viewing my roof plan from here, this point, up to about 4 feet. And so there is nothing in my model, right? And nothing is illustrated here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click over here in my view. I'm going to go down to view range. The shortcut is VR. And I want to change my bottom level. So instead of this being my bottom level, I want to see to top of wall below. So I'll change my bottom level to level below, my view depth to level below. Okay, and I'm going to give this a -1 foot offset. And now I'm able to see my roof again, right? Our cute little roof looks wonderful, adorable. And that is our hip roof. Okay, so that's how we're going to create a hipped roof, all right? All of the slopes are equal on all of the edges of our roof, okay? This happens, I'm going to click on this roof. This happens to be a 212. If I want to change it after I've sketched it, I can click and change it to 312. Apply. Oh, but when I did that, you notice my roof level is now just slightly below where it should be. So I'm going to bump that up. Oh, not my roof, the level. Constant adjusting in Revit, of course. And everything looks wonderful. All right. So what happens now when I want to edit my roof, right? Maybe I want to make it look a different shape, okay? Well, this is just like any other sketch. It's just like a floor, it's just like a ceiling where I can double click on my roof twice very quickly, click, click, okay? Or I can click on my roof and I can hit edit footprint here. Now if I wanted to, for example, adjust this, make it come out and have a nice gigantic front porch, I could do that. I was just nudging it with my arrows. I could also DI dimension, and I could use my dimension tool. It says 24 feet. That's a really wonderful porch, right? I could click on that sketch line and I could change it to, let's do 25 foot, enter, right? And so now I can use those sketch lines and I can redefine what's happening. Hit finish. And there's my roof. That looks maybe a little bit more like kind of the hip roof that you would likely, although it has this really wonky overhang, that's going to look more like a hip roof you would see, right? So it's kind of got that flat peak right there, that flat ridge, and it looks the way it should. All right, so we now know how to create a hipped roof. Let's talk about how we can create a gable end roof, okay? So I'm going to delete this roof here, and I'm going to create a new roof. It's called a gable end. And a gable end is that very traditional, you have two slopes and then two flat ends on a building, okay? So I'm going to go back to my top of wall, and this is where I'm going to sketch my gable end roof, okay? My roof level is still there, so if I go to a north elevation, I didn't delete any of my levels when I deleted my roof, right? So my roof level is there, my view range is still set, but my roof has just been deleted, okay? And it's time for me to generate a new type of roof. All right, so I'm gonna click on roof again, roof by footprint, and I'm again gonna draw my boundary. And this boundary will have an offset of 3 foot, enter. There we go. And now it's time for me to create my gable end. Okay, so essentially, if I wanted I'm going to create a little reference plane here. Let's do it this way. There we go. If I wanted my ridge line to be in the middle here and run east-west, okay, the way that I would go about that is I would want this roof line to slope up. I'd want this roof line to slope up, and they would meet in the middle and it would create a sloped roof. And I would want to undefine this, no slope, and I would want to click on that and uncheck define slope. Okay, so these do not slope, they just remain flat. Okay, so this side would slope up, this side would slope up, and there would be no sloping up this direction. All right, so to create a gable end, I have 2 sloping edges and I have 2 edges that don't slope at all. Now, of course, this edge is sloping at a 912, so I could click on that and change it to a 412, enter. This one I could click and change to 412, enter, right? And if I hit finish and I go into my 3D mode, there's my gable end roof. That's what a gable end roof looks like. Now I'm in top of wall. You're looking at this thinking, she said that our view range looked good and that everything was fine, but I definitely see a cutoff roof. And I see a cutoff roof because I'm on top of wall. I'm not in my roof plan, all right? Now, if I look at my roof plan here, I might get a little bit of cutoff just because this roof is slightly taller than the previous, but it all should have worked. There we go, 30 foot 11. Okay. So if I get some cut off, just, check things out. But I was in top of wall and I sort of expected it to be cut off because of how the view range is set up there. All right, so now I'm going to go back over to my roof plan, click, click, and very lovely little roof I have here, right? A gable end roof. So if I click on my roof, it's a generic 12-inch roof. I can change that to that new type we just generated, the metal roof, and everything looks the way it should. Well, everything looks the way it should except my metal roof lines are running the wrong direction, okay? So I'm going to click on that. Let me see if I can grab one of those lines. Actually, let's see. I'm going to click on my roof again, hit Edit Type. And edit the structure. I'm going to go to my metal roofing. And let's look here. So my metal roofing here, my surface pattern. Let's do a different, 12 it. No, we don't want tile. Let's do 6-inch parallel, best we got. So I'm gonna hit OK, OK again. I just changed the pattern of my roofing, okay? And I can click on one of those little lines now and I can RO, rotate, and I can rotate it 90 degrees, enter, and look at that. I can grab one of these, tab, click, RO, oops, click, RO, click, 90 degrees, enter, and I have my metal roof going the way it should, okay? If I pop into 3D here, there's my gable end, right? One edge slopes up, the other edge slopes up, it meets at the ridge line, and then these two edges that didn't have any defined slope, they don't slope. Okay, so everything looks good. There's just one kind of odd thing that's happening here, right? I click on my roof and I do see that it sits at top of wall, but one odd thing that's happening is that the walls are not quite meeting the roof, okay? And we can't have that. We want things looking the way it should, okay? Sorry guys, there's some people in the hallway, so we're getting probably a little bit of background noise. So I'm going to select my wall here, and what I need to do is called an attach top to base, okay? So I'm going to click on, with my wall highlighted, click attach top to base, and I'm going to click on my roof, and it's going to take that wall and attach it up to my roof, all right? Now, it doesn't matter what shape it is, it fits that shape of my wall up to my roof by using that attach top to base. Now I'm going to select all the rest of the walls. I'm going to hover, tab, click. I've selected all of my walls, attach top to base, click on my roof, and very nicely all of my walls attach. It's very magical. All right, that's my gable end roof. Now if I go back up to my roof plan, click, click, right? I can click on this and I can edit the slope, so I can make it a 312, enter. I pop into 3D, I have a 312. And you'll notice that because I attached these walls to the top here, they just follow it, okay? I'm gonna click on here and I'm gonna change it to a 612, enter. A lot steeper, but those walls still very much follow it. Okay, we'll change it back to a 312 just to make it easy. All right, so everything looks really good. We are going to generate just a couple more types of roofs tonight, or not tonight, I guess, it's today, for you guys tonight. And then we'll be finished with the topic of roofs. Okay, now there is one other thing with regards to roofs that we need to talk about, but I want you to try and create a roof, and then we will talk about joining and cutting holes in a roof, and also how to create a ceiling that slopes along with a roof. I've sort of decided to do those two advanced commands in a different lecture. All right, So we have our wonderful roof here. It's a gable end. That's how you'll create those. But what I'd like to do next is I'd like to create a single slope roof. Okay, so that means that I have one edge of my roof that slopes and the other edge that does not. And the single slope roof is really going to be the roof type that you want to generate for your imbue cabin, because that's what we have. And we actually have two of them. Okay, so you may have to create one roof, finish it, and then start a second roof and finish that roof. Okay, so I'm going to click on my roof and I'm going to hit delete here, and that leaves me the outline of my walls. But I don't want to create my roof on the actual roof level, which is really, I think, kind of deceiving. I want to create it at top of wall. Click, click. Oh, hopefully we don't crash again here. Oh boy. Okay, so for whatever reason, when I do my task manager, it kind of bumps it back into where it should be. So we'll just do that. But I want to create a single slope roof now. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my roof tool, roof by footprint, of course. And I'm still going to outline it just like I normally would. And I'm going to give it an offset of, we'll say 4 foot this time. And I'm still going to trace my roof just like I normally would. Okay. All of these lines sloped, I get a hip roof. 2 of these lines sloped, I get a gable end. 1 sloped, I get a single slope roof. All right. So I'm going to select all 3 of these at the same time. Crazy, I know. But I'm going to select all of those at the same time. And I'm going to uncheck defines roof slope. All right. I could have done it one by one, but why do it that way when I can make it easier? I'm going to click on the remaining slope that I have left, and I'm going to make that a 312, enter. Okay. One thing I want to say too is we can make these increments of whole numbers. So I could have done 3.5, which is 3.5 to 12. Totally fine. All right. I'm going to change my assembly to metal roof. I'm going to hit finish. Oh, I made a mistake. I'm still on the roof level, so we'll have to fix that. And hit finish. I only see a teeny bit of my roof because it has been generated at my roof level, right? Click on that, and I'm going to change my level to top of wall, which I thought I had done. And there's my single slope roof. Single slope roof, okay? Quite the slope, 312. I'm going to make this a 212. Okay, even better. Now I can definitely see it on my roof plan. Let's do a 112. Even better for me today. I go into 3D, and that's what my lovely little single slope roof looks like. Okay, if I click on it and I want to change the slope to enter, there we go. All right. Now, of course, my walls aren't meeting that, which is kind of problematic, but I'm going to do attach top to base just like I did with my gable end. So I'm going to click on my wall, attach top to base, click on my roof. That bumped it right up and attached it. Okay. And why do things one at a time when I can do them all at the same time? I'm going to tab, click, attach top to base, click, and I have all of my walls attached to that roof. It's lovely. If I change the slope, maybe I make it a 312, it follows along. Okay, so I can go to my north elevation and it looks the way it should. Now, again, you know, I thought I'd be able to see everything from my roof plan, and I likely can. That might be below the 4 foot cutoff line. But, you know, don't forget that you're likely going to have to, depending on the type of roof that you generate, and I'm just nudging this with my arrow key, I'm going to have to alter these things just a tiny bit. Okay, so we'll make that an even 36 foot. Okay. All right, Now if I go to my roof plan here, looks wonderful. Okay. Now something I want to kind of point out is that I can use dimensions on this roof plan. So DI, click, click. Okay. I can hit escape and I can click on that roof twice very quickly, and I can edit the shape of it. So if I wanted to bring this out, I could. One thing I do want to point out, all right, is that when I'm creating a single slope roof, and sometimes I kind of lose my way in this command a little bit, funny enough, it's going to be the line that slopes. That is where the roof starts, if that makes sense. So this is kind of the low point of the roof, and it's going to slope up to that, not the other way around. So when we're drawing our slope, we want to draw it at the low point of the roof, and it will slope up that direction. We'll make this eave a little bit bigger. I'm just nudging these out with my arrow keys. Hit finish. I go into 3D here, and there's my lovely gigantic overhangs. Okay. Flat roofs. Flat roofs, flat roofs, flat roofs. We can create flat roofs in Revit, as well as gable end, hip, and single slope. Okay. I'm going to go back into my top of wall level. I'm going to click on that roof I just generated and hit delete. All right. And I just want to create a flat roof now. All right. So I'm going to go over to my roof command, roof by footprint, and I'm going to create another outline of a roof. We will give this a 4-foot overhang, enter, and I'm just going to do what I have been doing, hit escape. And to create a completely flat roof, I need to undefine the slope of all of my roof lines here. So I'm going to grab all of them at the same time, and I'm going to uncheck defines roof slope. Okay, it's as easy as that. I'm going to hit finish. I'm going to pop into 3D and take a look at this. And there's my little flat roof. Flat roof, there is residences that have flat roofs, but of course these you'll probably use a little bit more for a commercial type application, which we will be drawing a commercial project called Wireless Switch for your final project. Okay. But that's how you're going to draw a flat roof, okay? All of your slope lines have no slope defined. I go to my roof plan. There's my roof. If I want to edit it, I can click on it, right? I could move things out. Okay, I hit finish, and there we go. All right, so those are kind of our 4 most common types of roofs that we're going to be generating. I am going to show you how to generate a roof by footprint. All right, or roof by extrusion next. And then I'm going to show you one other thing, and we will finish this lecture. All right, roof by extrusion will allow you to create a roof by extruding a profile. And a profile is really just defined as a line with a shape associated to it. It's a flat line with a shape. Okay, and to extrude means to draw a shape, and then to extrude means it will take that object and make it 3D in whatever direction you tell it to. Okay, now it's not hard drawing a profile to generate an extrusion roof, but there is one little trick to it, and that is that you need to draw a reference plane in order to attach that profile to. So just watch what I do, and if you ever have to do this, you can just do exactly what I do again. But essentially, I have to create a work plane or a reference plane for that profile to live in space so that Revit knows where it's at, and then that extrusion will begin at that work plane and move backwards, okay, or forwards depending on how you define it. All right, so RP reference plane, and I'm going to draw this out in front of my north elevation here. Okay, there's my north elevation. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to give it a name. Click on it and say profile reference plane. Okay, so I've just established that my reference plane, profile reference plane, and let's get it in a good spot here. Tab, click, click. Okay, it's 6'9" from the face of my north wall there. I'm going to make it 3 foot. Okay. So essentially, when I move into my north elevation and I have to draw my profiles in an elevation view, I can't draw them in a floor plan view. I'm going to attach that profile to this reference plane so that my extrusion of a roof starts here and extrudes out to here. Okay. So I'm going to go to my north elevation, click, click. Okay. And I don't see anything. I don't see that reference plane, but it's there. All right. And I'm just about ready to use it. Okay. So I'm going to come up here to roof. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash when I do this. Roof by extrusion. And the first thing it's going to say is, hey, what work plane would you like to draw your profile on? So I have created one, and it's called Profile Reference Plane. And that is there because I generated that reference plane in floor plan view. Okay. Now it's asking me, where would you like this roof to live? What level? And I want this at top of wall. Okay. So things are just slightly different than they were with our other roof type, right? And it's because we're drawing it essentially in elevation view, not floor plan view. So now that I have finished all of that definition, it's time for me to create my roof, okay? So I'm just going to, using my drawing tools, just gonna create kind of a fun little swoopy roof. I'm never too crazy with it. Escape, escape. But I can drag this down a little bit, right? I can drag this up, and I've got a nice little wavy roof, and it works pretty well. There we go. So that is what I want my roof to look like, okay? And again, it's going to start at that reference plane that we have defined. Now it says, hey, we're starting at point 0, which is the reference plane. Where would you like it to end? Well, I didn't exactly measure my building, but we'll give it somewhat of a measurement. Let's say 30 feet. Enter. Okay, it's living at top of wall. I'm going to hit finish. Okay, now sort of the rules with the profile that you draw, it has to be an open line. So I can't draw circles that are closed. I have to draw an open line. I also can't have lines that wrap over one another, meaning if it creates a loop, it wraps over itself, and that won't work. I'm going to bump into 3D, and there, oop, my reference plane, I feel like went the wrong way. Oh, let's go to roof. There it is. So it started at the reference plane and went in the positive direction of 30, which was not exactly where I'd wanted it to go, right? So I'm going to type in negative 30, enter. And there we go, it goes the opposite direction. So negative was just away from that reference plane the other way. But it doesn't quite get it where I want it to go, right? So I can grab this little grip and drag it out, right? Or I could have created another reference plane, RP. And again, reference planes also help you draw. They have other functionality in Revit, but they very much help you draw. DI dimension. I select it, 3 foot, enter, and I could grab this roof and take it out to there. Okay, so I go into 3D, and there's my lovely swoopy roof. And of course I want my walls to go up to the underside, so I'm going to tab, click, attach top to base, click on that roof, and that attaches. And it's lovely, right? It's very, very lovely. All right, so that's how you're going to create a roof by extrusion. Now again, I very, very rarely use those. So, you know, maybe you'll use them more than I do, but I very rarely use those. Okay, so final thing for today, I want to show you how to create a couple of different roofs, and I'm going to show you how to intersect them, and then the next time we talk, we're going to, probably Monday, we're going to talk about how to cut holes in roofs and also how to slope a ceiling to a roof. All right. Okay, so what happens when I want a roof and I want one that goes here over this volume, and I want a second little one that goes near this volume, all right? I do have to create two different roofs in order for that to work. What has happened here? Oh, well, there you go. Main level up to top of wall. There we go. All right, so I have my lovely little vestibule there, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I'm going to go about creating my first roof here. So I'm going to create a hip roof there, roof by footprint. Oop, good thing I caught myself. Before I do that, I'm going to go down to top of wall. There we go, that's what I want. I'm going to go to roof, roof by footprint. We'll give this an overhang of 3 foot, enter, and I'll create my first roof here. Oop, didn't quite take effect. 3, enter, there we go. So this is my main roof, okay, and we're going to give it a low slope of 3 to 12, enter. And because all 4 of these lines are sloping, they will all slope up towards the center and create a hipped roof. Finish. Okay, now I also want to create a secondary gable end roof here that comes in and intersects that first roof, okay? So this roof right now is currently looking like this. But again, I want another roof that kind of comes in and intersects it. So while I'm in top of wall still, I'm going to go back to roof again. And I'm going to outline my little vestibule here. Oop, I want to do an overhang. We'll do a 2 foot overhang, enter. There we go. Okay, but I want to create a gable end roof this time. So I'm going to undefine this roofing slope, and I'm going to undefine this roof slope. That leaves 1, 2 edges sloped, which creates a gable. And I'm going to select both of those, of course, and make those a very low slope, like a 312. Okay, so I've just finished my roof sketch. I'm going to pop into 3D, and I have this nice little gable roof intersecting my main roof here. Looks like a bank, right? I'm going to grab these little walls, attach top to base, click on that. Looks wonderful. Now the one issue is that this edge back here doesn't quite meet that roof, right? So we could remedy that using Sketch. I'm going to click. I could just kind of bring this little guy back and exaggerate it, hit finish, move into 3D, and my roofs intersect. That looks great. Okay, but those are 2 different roofs. They were 2 different roofs. We generated them differently. I'm going to hit undo there, undo again. Another thing that I could do is join my 2 roofs together. So essentially what I would be doing is taking this one and extending it to the main roof and joining them together, okay? So I'm going to click on my little roof, and when I do so, a little icon here appears. It doesn't appear unless you select the roof, and it's join and unjoin roof, and you see what happens when I do that. Okay. So I'm going to click on that, and this is sort of a weird workflow, I feel like. And maybe it's not a weird workflow, but it's just a weird selection that I have to do here to make this work. Essentially, it's asking me down at the bottom to select an edge at the end of the roof that you wish to join. And an edge meaning just a line. So I'm going to pick that edge of that roof that I want to join to this roof. Click. Now it's asking me to select the face of the roof that I want to join it to. Click. And it extends itself over and finishes. Okay. Now the inherent problem with this, let me just show you what the inherent problem with this type of roof is. Okay. The inherent issue with this, where's my little section, is that, click, when I look at my sectional view, right, it doesn't quite look right, okay? This roof comes in and they do touch, but there's no opening in this main roof to allow this one to connect to it, okay? So is that a big deal? Maybe, maybe not. It just depends on what type of construction or what type of project you're working on or what you want to accomplish, okay? The main thing that this does accomplish for you is it will allow you to have two different roofing systems, right? We definitely have two roofing systems. It does allow them to touch and to join together, right? While at the same time still allowing you the flexibility to take maybe this roof and change it to a 512 enter, right? And it still looks the way it should. Even if I want to click on this one and maybe make it a 412 enter, it still looks the way it should. Okay, so this is how we're going to kind of neatly join roofs together. All right, but we do have, like I said before, I've said a couple times, we do have kind of one more sort of advanced technique where, you know, there's going to be a time where you have to cut a hole in this roof so that this roof can then come in and join, right? That would be a case where maybe you have a dormer in a roof where you want to really see these two volumes from the inside connect, and you need to see that happen in your model, right? So we're going to talk about that next time, and we are also going to talk about how to slope your ceiling so that it slopes with your roof, okay? I feel like this is enough material for tonight. You will have plenty to do with this with your assignment, and so I'm going to sort of leave it at this. What I do want to say, and I'm sorry I can't switch my screens, otherwise my recording will stop, but there is an assignment posted on Canvas. You are going to generate a roof in your imbue cabin, all right? So you may want to get on that. It's going to be a single slope roof in that case. Make it look like the one in the imbue cabin. And we have a couple more topics we're going to cover. For sure, we need to cover stairs. I want to talk about sloping ceilings, joining roofs a little bit better, cutting holes in roofs. And then for your midterm, I'm going to spend a class just drafting. And I think that will be helpful because I'm going to show you how to not only draw and create the geometry of your midterm, or I guess your late term project, but I'm going to show you how to change a few wall types. I'm going to show you how to create the chimney. I'm also going to go over how to create the basement again. All right, so how to create those basement walls again, and we'll move forward with that a little bit too, in that we will create some footings underneath your foundation walls. Okay. And I think I lied because I have one tiny little thing I want to point out before we finish here tonight or today. I'm going to go back to my roof plan here. Okay. Looks all very nice and lovely. Look how beautiful that little roof is. And I just want to remind you, I'm going to change the scale here to 1/4 of an inch. Okay. I just want to remind you that this is a view that you can place on a sheet. So right click, new sheet. I'm going to load in my 24 by 36 inch sheet. Sorry, I'm moving quickly, but you know, you guys should generally have a sense of how to do this, and you'll get pretty quick at it too eventually. There's my lovely little sheet, and my roof plan is here. Drag it over, click, and place it on the sheet. Now, I wasn't very nice and careful about, you know, bringing my little elevation markers in or getting everything sort of figured out before I place my view, which usually I'm pretty good at. But this is something, you know, it's very easy to place on a sheet. Of course, for your assignment, you'll create your roof, you'll place your roof, make it look the way it should, and then you will put on a sheet, and you'll create a PDF of the sheet, and you will post the PDF and the Revit file for review. Okay. I hope all of that made sense. Thank you again for allowing us to go to the Reflections contest. I think it's just really important for young aspiring designers and artists to have sort of the mentorship of college students who are pursuing the same type of dream. So I always like to participate in these events. Of course, we've had Design Week this semester, which you know, doesn't happen every semester. It happens in fall, so you guys were lucky enough to have that event as well. But I think this is going to be sort of our last event for the season, so I'm happy to be able to accommodate it. Hopefully this lecture made sense. If it doesn't, I will be here tomorrow, which is Thursday, and I will be here probably about noon, and I'll be here for sure until about 3 o'clock in my office or in the nearby areas of my office. Okay, so feel free to come stop by if you have any questions, or always, of course, you can send me an email. We have the YouTube videos online. This will be on YouTube, and then there's also the skill set videos to help you with the roof. So good luck, everybody, and have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday.